Okay. So, welcome everybody to our hangout. This is actually a do-over. We had normally have this hangout yesterday, and we simulcast it to YouTube and to our conference line. Now the conference line went fine, but we had a few technical difficulties with YouTube. And so I'm going to take this opportunity today to redo this. And it's a great time. It's an exciting time for us because it's the start of a 4-week program on creating abundance, creating more money in your life. And we come at this from a perspective that is really unique. And we just love to have you, get in here and mix it up and change your vibrational set point. So anyhow, without further ado, let me get into the Hangout on air. We'll be putting up some links on the screen. You can click through, get more information, and of course, then come join us and let's have some fun. Let's make some money. Good. Anyhow, here's Tara. If there's a powerful voice inside you that says, money doesn't grow on trees, then stepping into prosperity means teaching that voice a new song. So the next 4 weeks is going to be choir practice. Welcome to the start of our Make More Money Challenge. We're going to make the following bold assertion. It's the way we put it all together here that sets us apart. For example, you won't find too many or maybe any programs out there about making money that begin with a discussion on the meaning of life. Not that there aren't hundreds of processes that can really help you, but they're only partial answers. And partial answers can only take you so far, and then you fall off the wagon. And so here you are, having tried all sorts of strategies for creating abundance, and yet still looking for the ultimate answer. Well, we're going to give you that ultimate answer. And the fact is, we can't do that without confronting up front here the truth about who you are and what you're doing here. So bear with us and keep an open mind as we establish a foundation for everything that's going to follow over these next 4 weeks. We'll be engaging with you, supporting you, and answering all your questions. We'll be recording these 13 conference calls for you. We'll be creating guided awareness audios for you and encouraging you to get them onto your personal audio player and spend as much time with them as you can. We're going to do everything we can to set you up for success. So as you join with us right here and now, set yourself an intention for clarity and let your mind be open to new ideas as we pose to you this seemingly silly but actually profound question. Why doesn't money grow on trees? Now, there are 2 very different ways you can answer this. From a purely material, physical perspective, the answer is obvious and the question is silly. And then there's a law of attraction perspective. We, of course, are going to explore the answer from that perspective, because within that answer lies the key to you getting everything you ever wanted, whether that's a ton of money or oodles of anything else you can imagine. Here we go. We know that with this game of life on earth you're in, it's easy to settle into a belief that physicalness is reality, that you live in a world that's out there and external to you, a world with a history that existed long before you were born and will be there long after you're dead and buried. And while you're here, you have to share it with everybody else and deal with it. And we know that you've been encouraged throughout your life to be practical, to face that so-called reality. And so you practiced reality thinking. You didn't know you were practicing it, but you're day by day minute by minute, unconscious acceptance of the world as real means that you've literally spent your whole life practicing that belief. Now, we really want you to get this because the implications are profound. And if we've lost you at this point, much of what follows is not going to make sense. Let's look at two fundamentally important questions. Firstly, what is consciousness? Physical science can't answer this question because there's nothing within your physicalness that can ever explain it. Secondly, A, is your brain interpreting through your senses an external world? Or B, are you internally creating your own virtual reality? Once again, there is no scientific answer to this question. Science assumes the answer is A, that physicalness is real, and all scientific theory is built on that foundational assumption. In your modern civilization, where it seems you've moved beyond the age of the Hobbit and into the age of reason, most of you have bought into that story. And why not? It seems to make total sense. You can examine your world and verify things. You can dig up the remains of past civilizations and verify your history. It's all very logical and self-evident, to which we say, hold on just a minute here. Let's back up to that basic assumption, because there's another possible explanation. And by the way, any story that does not answer those two questions we just posed cannot ever be described as making total sense or as self-evident truth. So yes, we understand that the scientific story about reality is very seductive. But here's why it is. By law of attraction, once you make any assumption, the story becomes self-reinforcing. All belief choices come with their own life support system. Once you make a choice, this is the way things are, so-called reality lines up with that. It must. And that leads to this. If money is not flowing to you as you want it to, and you tried all those strategies that didn't work, we're here to tell you it's not about finding the right action plan. It's not about any physical action plan. It's about how you think. You have to make a new belief choice and line up with it. Without a new belief choice, there's not enough doing on the planet to make anything happen. But here's the good news. Once you do make that new belief choice, and you take time to practice it and get into true alignment with it, there's no force in heaven or on earth that can prevent that from becoming your new reality. Think about that question we posed in our subject line. Why doesn't money grow on trees? The secret is that it can. The choice is yours. Once you've aligned yourself with the belief choice that money flows easily to you, it comes out of thin air. It arrives serendipitously on your doorstep or into your bank account from a million potential sources. Some you can imagine and others you've never thought of. As to those two questions that science cannot answer, our answers are simple and they explain everything. Consciousness doesn't come from physicality. Physicality is the illusion that you, the consciousness, are creating. And therefore the answer to the second question is B. There's nothing out there external to you. It's all an inside job. Inside you is where everything happens. So now we're going to do two things at once. Firstly, we're going to lay out the truth of who you are how you can choose to believe anything you want to believe, how you can line up with that choice, and how that's going to breach the dam and allow things to flow to you in ways that will knock your socks off. Secondly, we're going to do it in first person present tense language because we want to give you the chance to follow along here and begin to practice this new story about you. And this will also allow us to segment out this piece of audio as another guide awareness, and we'll get that to you shortly. So let's take a moment now to acknowledging the truth about you. Let yourself get quiet. And given that right now our particular focus is on creating abundance and prosperity, take a moment here to think of what that means to you. Perhaps in terms of the peace and power it will bring, perhaps in terms of fun and freedom, perhaps in terms of one significant area of your life that will be different. Imagine that now. Get hold of it. We're going to revisit that picture and that feeling as we go through this process. Here we go. Prosperity is my birthright. As I hear these words, I allow myself right now to know the truth of them. As I practice acknowledging who I am, I'm accepting it at all levels within me. I treat myself with enormous generosity of spirit. And even as my mind wanders through many different rooms, I return always to this core intention, to know that prosperity is my birthright. I'm a consciousness that is part of the collective consciousness of Source. Source is a river, and I'm a tributary that feeds into and flows from that river. I'm a part of the endless stream that is God. This is the ultimate truth of who I am. This is the only thing that's fundamentally true about me in all realms across a timeless universe. This is the only thing that I am and can ever be. And yet it is everything. With these words, I experience my connection and my oneness with infinity. I am allowing myself right now to be aware of who I am. I exist as a thought. What I choose to think creates me and my worlds. Everything is as I choose it to be. My desires and intentions and my chosen beliefs and expectations shape the individuation that is me. And the context that surrounds me is a mirror of those beliefs and expectations. I exist as a thought, and everything that exists around me exists as a thought. It is my thoughts that create the physical me in this physical world, with all of its actions and sequences and beginnings and ends and time that marches on. And so even as I acknowledge that I am an action-oriented being in an action-oriented world, I also acknowledge that what shapes my existence is simply my thoughts. I answer to no one. I am not here to serve or learn or to pass some test. I am Source, and I'm here to experience another aspect of myself in this leading edge environment. I'm here to experience the joy of creating new things in this focused space-time world, whatever those things might be. One thing today and perhaps another tomorrow. I follow my heart. I'm here for the fun of it. The choice is mine, and I'm choosing abundance. I'm choosing now to know that I attract money to me. How it comes is not my job. I'm choosing now to step into prosperity, and that choice alone is all that I ever need to make. I choose simply to merge myself into that newly abundant version of reality. And I'm seeing myself in that version. And I'm playing in that version. And I'm experiencing the freedom of that world. And I'm experiencing the power of this new choice of mine. And I'm experiencing the peace that comes from making this choice. My heart is dancing to this new song. Money does grow on trees. Every time I choose and re-choose this new and different thought, it makes a difference. Each small choice, each deliberately different thought creates movement in the fabric of my existence. And as I be here and now in this place of playing with new thoughts, I can feel within me that I am now different than I was just a moment ago. Each new thought makes a huge difference. This new thought right now has made a difference. I feel within me the power of that new thought. I see stretching before me a world that has tilted in my favor. I can feel myself emerging into that new version of me and my world. Everything can change in an instant. And I know that my story changes as soon as I let go of all resistance. Resistance is part of my old story. This is my new story. As I practice here and now this awareness of me and my power, I know that abundance is my natural state. There is nothing I cannot be, do, or have. There is nothing I cannot change. This is my new story, my true story. It's my new, true story. And I'm letting it sink in right to the very core of me. Good. So if there's that powerful voice inside you that says, money doesn't grow on trees, then stepping into prosperity means teaching that voice a new song. Money does grow on trees. So to learn a new song, here's the sequence. 1, understand who you are. 2, make a new choice. And 3, line up with it. By which we mean focus on that thought. Practice that new thought until it subconsciously becomes part of the fabric of you and your existence. Prepare to be surprised and delighted. Then go sit under that money tree. Good. So, we'll be putting links, as I said, on the screen here to let you click through and join us as a member and come join in this 4-week challenge where we're going to take you through a whole stack of events here and processes. We're going to engage with you. We're going to support you. We're going to be with you in this because we want you to come out of the end of this really a different person with a different view of the world, a different point of attraction. So it's going to be a fun ride. Come join us. Thanks.